what is the meeting point between yoga and belly dance, and why do you think they one complement each other?
Okay. So first of all, thank you for having me. So what I found is that it was very much experience based. Yeah. So back in 2011, so I'd already been teaching for a while yoga, and I was teaching Kundalini yoga and Hatha yoga and Jivamukti yoga. I was teaching all the yogas, and I had loads of meditation tools. I'd already done my quantum healing. I was training to be a shamanic healer. I had this like quite traumatic experience where somebody I really, really cared about ended up in hospital. And I was really frightened that they might die. And this just rocked my world completely. And I was very, very stressed out. I cried and cried and cried. The only time I wouldn't cry is when I was teaching. So I'd go into the class and somehow God, or whatever you want to call it, would take over. I would teach, I'd come out and cry again. And then at this time, I started kind of really discovering belly dance. And I had all these tools at my disposal. I had yoga, I had meditation, I had, you name it, I was doing it to make myself better. However, the only time I felt like I did not think of anything at all was when I was belly dancing. And at that time I thought, you know what, this is gold. And actually, I've tried all this stuff, but nothing is like this. Yeah. So this is one of the reasons why the two things go together so well. The other reason is that if you look at the yoga movements, they're kind of quite angular. You have postures called triangle pose, bound angle pose, extended side angle pose. They're very sort of angular, and belly dance is very round. Yeah. So the yoga practice is a little bit more masculine. It will work on all the chakras. It will open the hips and it will do stuff, which is awesome, which some belly dance doesn't do. However, it doesn't have, for example, if you look at, a Maya in belly dance, that sort of like hip movement like that, it doesn't really get to that area in the same way. And I find that especially, I'm an artist as well, so I paint. Sometimes during stressful times, your second chakra, your creativity comes really blocked. And yoga for me doesn't unblock it as much as belly dance does. If I really do a big belly dance session, you know what I mean? Wow. And I even use the coins to sort of clear the aura of it. And I really work on the hips. Somehow it's unblocked me. Yeah. And that's why I think the two things, they work so well together. And also think about, if you think about yoga, is a very controlled movement where you breathe. Belly dance is not, you don't do one breath per movement. Yeah. But in order to have the spontaneity of just really moving like spontaneously with belly dance so that you don't have body limitations so much, the yoga is really crucial. So in a way, it's something which is sort of really controlled and grounds you so that you can be explosive in another way. Wow. And the two things, I think they go together really well. That's why I do both.
Hello, and finally we have Alessia here. I'm so happy and honored. I can't wait to ask you so many questions. I adore your job, Alessia, and I adore what you do for women. So let me introduce you a little bit about Alessia. So we have Alessia Avellino, who is a very acknowledged yoga instructor. She's been doing it for 20 years now, right? This is your 20th year.
It was like my first yoga class I gave was 2004. And the first I took was 2000. So it's been ages.
20 years. Oh my God. Yeah. You were a baby when you started, Alessia. So also Alessia is a healer in every form of the way. She's a shamanic healer. She does shamanic healing, quantum healing, chakras, astrology. She's also, I'm honored to have her as a dance body mind belly dance instructor. She's amazing. I know Alessia for many, many years, but now we are finally doing things together, and I'm inspired by your work. And that's why your website and your business company is called Healing Central, because Alessia is the one to go to for healing, enlightenment for the body and for the mind, right? That's really what you work on. So I was looking for, she's our first instructor, dance body mind instructor that I'm actually talking to. I don't like to say interview. I like to have chat, because as you all know, I love to chat a lot and I love to ask questions. So Alessia, let me start straight away finding out one of the things that really attract me about when you've done the belly dance course, and you've done so many courses in your life. So I wanted to know why you decided to start to do a course with us, Dance Body Mind, and become a belly dance instructor. But also, well, I wanted to talk to everybody. We already spoke about it. What is the meeting point between yoga and belly dance, and why do you think they one complement each other? And we have beautiful conversation, but I would like you to share it with everybody.
Okay, so first of all, thank you for having me. So what I found is that it was very much experience based. Yeah. So back in 2011, so I'd already been teaching for a while yoga, and I was teaching Kundalini yoga and Hatha yoga and Jivamukti yoga. I was teaching all the yogas, and I had loads of meditation tools. I'd already done my quantum healing. I was training to be a shamanic healer. I had this like quite traumatic experience where somebody I really, really cared about ended up in hospital. And I was really frightened that they might die. And this just rocked my world completely. And I was very, very stressed out. I cried and cried and cried. The only time I wouldn't cry is when I was teaching. So I'd go into the class and somehow God, or whatever you want to call it, would take over. I would teach, I'd come out and cry again. And then at this time, I started kind of really discovering belly dance. And I had all these tools at my disposal. I had yoga, I had meditation, I had, you name it, I was doing it to make myself better. However, the only time I felt like I did not think of anything at all was when I was belly dancing. And at that time, I thought, you know what, this is gold. And actually, I've tried all this stuff, but nothing is like this. Yeah. So this is one of the reasons why the two things go together so well. The other reason is that if you look at the yoga movements, they're kind of quite angular. You have postures called triangle pose, bound angle pose, extended side angle pose. They're very sort of angular, and belly dance is very round. Yeah. So the yoga practice is a little bit more masculine. It will work on all the chakras. It will open the hips and it will do stuff, which is awesome, which some belly dance doesn't do. However, it doesn't have, for example, if you look at, a Maya in belly dance, that sort of like hip movement like that, it doesn't really get to that area in the same way. And I find that, especially, I'm an artist as well, so I paint. Sometimes during stressful times, your second chakra, your creativity comes really blocked. And yoga, for me, doesn't unblock it as much as belly dance does. If I really do a big belly dance session, you know what I mean? Wow. And I even use the coins to sort of clear the aura of it. And I really work on the hips. Somehow it's unblocked me. Yeah. And that's why I think the two things, they work so well together. And also think about, if you think about yoga, is a very controlled movement where you breathe. Belly dance is not, you don't do one breath per movement. Yeah. But in order to have the spontaneity of just really moving like spontaneously with belly dance so that you don't have body limitations so much, the yoga is really crucial. So in a way, it's something which is sort of really controlled and grounds you so that you can be explosive in another way. Wow. And the two things, I think they go together really well. That's why I do both. You know what I mean? Because I think one cannot be without the other for me. And also, yoga is like really designed to keep you mobile, like forever, Like I've just seen a post by a friend of mine who, she's in her 60s, a year after my hip replacement, she's doing the splits. You know what I mean? It's like, you just got gray hair, everything. She's like, I'm doing this place. I'm so happy. You know what I mean? It's like, so I found that I was losing mobility without doing the yoga regularly. Yeah. Just wasn't enough because it just works everything. And then when you go deeper with the belly dance, then you really open up. Yeah. Then you really feel like the heart chakra is opening, especially if you do it with intention, which yoga says to the keen and intent practitioner, the results come fast. So there's got to be a mixture of train your body, prepare your body, the intention, and then you can just let go with the belly dance.
Wow.
And things happen.
So being you a very experienced yoga teacher, would you recommend belly dancing to yoga teacher, or do you think it's just happening for you being a dancer already? Or do you think belly dance incorporated, the belly dance practice would help most of yoga teachers?
I think it will certainly be balancing. I think it also depends on, what kind of person you are. Because, a lot of yogis I know, they love to dance anyway.
Mm.
Yeah. And, the way the belly dance movements are, at least the way I understand them, they were very much about, I understand them through a ritualistic way and through healing. So it's almost like an extension of the yoga practice for me. So I would recommend it, because it works for me. Yeah. And I love it, and there are things that yoga has that, belly dance will add to it that will really complement, especially for women. Or if you feel like a woman, if you feel like you're in a woman's self.
So would you say that yoga is the first step to opening up, and then belly dance does the, like you say, it goes much deeper into opening, from a body and also spiritual and emotional level. So yoga does the first opening with the breathing as well. And then if you bring belly dance into that openness, you get really deep into it.
Yes, you can, because yoga brings a lot of body awareness. And so because what are you doing with when you're practicing yoga, there is music as well in yoga. However, you're really listening to the sound of your breath. So yoga is not about outwards, it's all about inwards. So when with that inner awareness, you go and practice belly dance, you're not just doing a movement that you want to look in the mirror at. You're really doing a movement from inside, which means that the energy that comes from that movement is the energy of your intention behind it. And actually, that looks better when you do it as well, funnily enough, because you're not copying somebody, you're embodying something. Yeah. So that's the difference. And I found this difference also if you're performing, if you want to perform as well, the difference of showing up and really being embodied in yourself and do this is like, here I am. It's almost like, oh, that's so interesting, rather than, oh my God, I'm so stressed about whether this looks perfect or not. Yeah. But what you give out. Yeah. Which is why I loved your teacher training. Because, I trained ages ago for it, but I've never been that performance-based because I've always done it for myself. Yeah. And so I thought, oh my God, this is somebody who is talking about performance as well as actually really being yourself. And why? And I was like, oh, that's awesome. And so I thought, I need to retrain with this woman, because what I did before actually didn't really communicate enough for me. That's why I'm doing level 2 as well. You can't get rid of me now.
No, I don't. I will never get. You will never get rid of me. Yeah. No, it's. Oh wow, that's so powerful. That is so powerful. But also, when we met, I didn't even have the tools that I then. We both kind of developed, and I didn't have the tools to even teach teachers, because I didn't understand the importance of going inwards. And so when I discovered that, and now I love what you've just said, and this is the reason why we're announcing a collaboration between us, Yoga for Belly Dance, coming from that place of really allowing yoga to help you go deeper within yourself, and moving from the entertainment aspect of belly dance, which is great because we want to have, but really going deeper into doing it for ourselves, into going into our why and our essence of dancing. So we will announce a wonderful masterclass, yoga for belly dance with Alessia, for all our dance body mind students and teachers, and so we're working on that. Also, I would like to ask you a few more questions about your shamanic healing and your quantum healing, because I've always been fascinated. You've got you paint as well, Alessia, don't you? You do amazing painting, and behind you got a painting, right? Is that one of your paintings?
I've got a bear in the forest painting.
Wow, you do incredible painting. There was this wonderful shamanic painting that you did a while ago. Is my reception really, was it slow there? No. Okay.
No, I can hear you.
Perfect. So I would like to know a bit more about your shamanic healing, also quantum healing, but also your journey with the Isis goddess dance that am I saying it right?
Goddess Isis dance.
Goddess Isis dance.
Well, the whole thing is Goddess Isis healing belly dance. So it's like, yeah. So it's purposely not a very commercial name. And I started doing that when I started teaching yoga. I suddenly had this kind of I was meditating a lot, yeah. And then I started belly dancing, and then I started having these revelations because I started getting in touch with the chakra system and what yoga poses meant for the chakra system. I thought, oh my God, actually, this kind of figure of 8 in the chest is an infinity symbol in the heart chakra. So is that sort of like the earthy 8, you bring energy in, the hands like this. I really felt like they were sort of clearing energy out of us. And I just started remembering somehow, or imagining, if you like, how, in ancient times, priestesses must have sort of cleared themselves out in order to dance in a way to project energy out of their energy center to heal themselves and other people. And I thought, oh, that's why they had to be pure. Because, if you were doing like, a circle and really thinking of projecting it out into someone, you would have to be clear yourself in order to heal someone else. And this is what shamanic healing calls being hollow boned. So it's like heal yourself first, so you're clear, so energy can come through you to project that healing onto somebody else, if they ask. Yeah, of course. And also to do it on yourself. Because, like, I love the fact that actually, people can be empowered to learn and take charge of their own healing. That is the most empowering thing, rather than somebody comes to somebody else. And so, we used to dance in a circle. This was like back in 2009. I think I did my first. We danced in a circle. There was no astrology at the time because I was still learning it. And I'd just put the music on, and then we would literally feel out the chakras, see what was coming up. And it was mostly improvised. I would lead a movement and then encourage people to find it in their own body, because everyone's body is different. Yeah, maybe someone's got like a long torso and shorter legs, or vice versa. So they're going to have a different mobility. But whatever they're moving is what they need to move, usually. And somehow, if you just lead a little bit someone into a movement and then give them free rein to really go inwards, they will start healing themselves. Yeah. And that is the point of Goddess Isis healing belly dance. So we also use the energy of the group. So we dance in a circle. So it's not performance based. So we dance in a circle. And, you'll find that if you have a circle of people with a good intention, in the middle of the circle, some huge ancestral healing can happen. And if you get the circle to converge, to come together, the energy is really dense. And if it comes apart, is different. And if with our hands we connect the circle, then something amazing can happen within it. We all gather there together in order to, elicit some healing out of ourselves, ancestrally, for everybody else. And it's all stored in our bodies. And yoga confirms this as well. Yeah. Yoga says that we have samskaras, which are like subtle grooves of energy in our energy field, which are equivalent to any action we've ever made. Yeah. So it's in ourselves, in our energy. So we're dancing with our arms to clear our aura, to clear ourselves from inside. Yeah. And I found that this was quite transformational. Yeah. For everybody. And also they could do their own healing. We could be together, but they could heal themselves in wherever they needed to. And then the astrology came on top of it, because through the chart, you can see, a lot of, the ancestral, what someone's come in with, the blueprint of what they've come in to heal. So those two things together end up being quite effective. I like effective healing because I was so messed up for so long. It's like, whatever I'm doing now is something that worked for me. Yeah. So that's how it came about.
Wow. My last question, and then I'm going to propose something to you. Tell me a bit. We my passion for astrology as well, but I'm more. It's more fun for me. I'm more intuitive guided to it, but I've never wanted to do it as a job because I feel like it's more. I don't know. It just, it's my freedom of expression in my connection. But Alessia, your knowledge of astrology, it's incredible. I think you've done my chart a while ago. It was a few years ago, and it was amazing. And also on top of astrology, and by the way, we're going to insert your astrology update on our newsletter, because you do update me and your clients with it. And I'm like, why don't you do it for all of us? So bear with us, because we're going to have Alessia's weekly. Whenever there's something important, Alessia will inform us.
I'll try.
Yeah. I know you do. So you do ancestral. astrology, right? Tell us a bit about this ancestral astrology and how, because I've always believed with astrology, I've always been connected. Maybe because my personal chart has a lot of heaviness in the eighth house, so my karma is really, really heavy. But I do see lots of karma when I do some charts for friends. And would you say that astrology, if you do it properly and if you read it properly, does reveal our karma and our ancestors and our connection with past lives?
Yeah, I believe it can do. Obviously, it depends what you believe. However, whether you want to heal something because it's something really heavy, and I'll say to you, well, this could come from a past life or it's now. The main thing is that we're healing it. Yeah. Right. So you don't really have to have a big belief system in it. You can see, I mean, having looked at my own chart for a very long time, for example, like I had a lot of issues of abandonment, as a child. And actually, funnily enough, I have a Uranus placement, which, does signify abandonment. Sometimes if you look at the way, your moon is relating to the planets, you can see your relationship with your mum. And looking at a lot of people's charts and having other astrologers having confirmed that, it's something that is like, oh, that's interesting. And if you look at, things like the 12th house, or if you look at some tendencies, yeah, that tend to repeat, then you can see, oh my God, that's something that I'm doing, that my mum was doing, that somebody else was doing. So you can see the parameters beyond the whether you believe in ancestry, past lives or not. So in that way, it sort of works because what I found, especially with quantum healing, you kind of test things with kinesiology, if you like, which is muscle testing. So you can test, okay, am I clear of fear of, I don't know, relationships? And you can say yes, that, my muscle testing can say yes. Then I say, am I clear of that on an ancestral level? And it says no. Yeah. So in a way, if I have something which is clear in this lifetime, I'm still carrying the healing that somewhere else needs to occur. Yeah. So in that way, sort of things sort of come together, slotted together, in order to sort of show me that actually that could be done. Yeah. And a lot of ingrained patterns, subconscious patterns. Yeah. Think of the 12th house, subconscious repressed parts of yourself. Why are they repressed? Where do they come from? We don't even know they're there half the time. Sometimes they're so subconscious because we block them out as kids, but maybe they come from a time before that somewhere. Maybe there's an aspect of ourselves that still needs healing from somewhere. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Are you there?
Yeah, because we inherit.
Sorry, yeah? It froze for a second. Mm-hmm. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, you did freeze for a second. That's why.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're talking about, whatever we inherit from our parents, from their parents, from the parents before, from theirs before. Yeah, we can go back and reach within ourselves because we contain it and actually just heal it all the way down the line. And our lives will be a lot lighter when we manage to do that. That's what I found with me.
Wow. Alessia, I would like to officially, so when everybody is going to watch this video, we are going for a retreat, a powerful retreat in Glastonbury. Am I saying it right? I always say it wrong. In April. In Glastonbury. I always say Glastonbury. Just one of those things. On the 18, 19, and 20th of April, I think, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And it's, as you know, Glastonbury is one of the most spiritual places in the world. I've always had a call to do it, and Mary Magdalene has always been my guiding angel somehow. Now I know, but I didn't know when I was younger. But she was my favorite in the Bible. She was my favorite, basically. So I feel like the journey that we're going through, dance, body, mind, especially with belly dancing, especially with our chakra journey, is really helping us, each one of us, to reconnect with our sacred feminine, the part of the sacred feminine that's been suppressed for so long. So I had this call to do this retreat in Glastonbury, which is happening. And I keep on feeling it's going to be powerful. We need to add something else. And now talking to you, I would like to invite you to come and teach ancestral astrology and goddess Isis goddess dance.
That's
Am I
it.
saying it right? Okay.
Uh-huh.
With us, and also for another reason, because you were telling me previously that you wanted to change the name Isis because obviously it's associated with a tarot group, but then you revealed to me that actually no, you're standing by that name because you want to tell us who is Isis, and I believe that she's actually guiding you to come with us on that journey and teach for us. And I would like to take your class, and it's going to be an intensive 3-4 days. But tell us a bit about this Isis dance that you felt like changing, and then you change your mind and you reclaim the back.
Froze for a minute. There you go. You're back.
Oh, perfect. Did you hear the question?
You were asking me about Isis.
So I would like to ask you because of the we had a conversation, and I feel like Isis is definitely calling on you to come and join us and teach for us at our Glastonbury retreat. Uh, she's definitely your secret goddess that's calling you with us. And tell us the story about you wanted to change the name for your Isis goddess dance, and then you change your mind. You reclaimed Isis back.
Yes, I did. Well, it was quite a while ago, and a friend of mine, several friends from America, they were like, "Oh my God, you have to change that name, ISIS. That's just bad news because of the terrorists and whatever." And so I really tried to change the name of it, and it just didn't work. I really didn't feel good with it, and I was like, "Oh God, that really feels bad." I tried to call it Ishtar, and I just didn't connect with it at all. I tried to call it tribal dance. If you look at my Instagram, sometimes I've advertised it as something else. And then there was, a lady who was it was an angel healer who gave me a reading, and she said, "No, no, no. Isis wants you to know that really she's really upset that they've done this to her." And I thought, actually, she's right, And I'm really looking at all the aspects of Isis. She represents everything, like that this is about, in a healing way, in a lovely way, in a woman's way, in a balanced feminine way. And I thought, you know what? I'm just going to keep it there. And I'm just going to put Goddess Isis. So you guys, Ceres people over there, see you later. And we're just going to be with Goddess Isis over here. And, I don't care if it's not commercially viable, because this is about something bigger than that. And
Tell
it's
us a
about
bit.
taking
Tell
that
us.
in.
Sorry. Tell us a bit about Isis, because some people may not know who Isis is.
So Isis is an Egyptian goddess, and she represents the sacred divine feminine. Yeah. And so Isis, she's also, she's a goddess, she's a mother, she's a wife. She's the embodiment of. And the first tattoo I had on my ankle was Isis. And funnily enough, Isis goes into the underworld to find pieces of her lover, Osiris. Yeah. And she brings him back. And they have this relationship which is beyond the realms. Yeah. About love. So, it's like there's a beautiful story about her. And then I had Osiris tattooed on me as well. I thought, okay, I'll just let him in too. And
Love it.
so, even if you look her up, you know what I mean? She's like, all the aspects are just in there. All the aspects of yourself as a woman, empowered, and everything else with it. The softness, the hardness, the harvest, is within Isis. So that's why I think she's awesome. And funnily enough, when the last dance dance course I did, we were losing these coins from the belt, and there were like, lots of coins on the floor, and I was still thinking, oh, should I Isis? Maybe I should change it for the website. And then somebody picked up a coin and said, "Oh, look, there's a little Isis on here." And I was like, okay, message received. And then I went home, and on the floor of my bedroom, there was another one of those little coins. And I thought, oh my God, there's another Isis coin on here. So I thought, oh, okay, I get it. Okay, you're staying. Okay, I'm really sorry if it ever. So I thought, I think I got enough
Wow.
messages to tell me that Isis is staying, the goddess.
Wow. And do you think we can work with Isis archetype in Glastonbury when we go there? We can just work on us really reconnected with her.
Yes, we can certainly give it a go.
That's
I mean,
sacred
whatever
feminine.
happens in the workshop, I'm not fully in control of, because,
Of course.
whatever healing happens,
True.
happens.
True.
Um, but
True.
yes, absolutely. Definitely there'll be a place of love where we go inside, we heal ourselves. We can even work shamanic healing, soul retrieval, inner child work. That's going to be quite strong, but it works. It works. If you want to get free of something, of a pattern, of
So
stuff.
tell us before we finish, tell us a bit what when we're going to Glastonbury, what session would you be doing?
So I will be doing, we'll definitely do Goddess Isis Healing Belly Dance and Astrology. So we look at everyone's astrology. I'll tell everyone where to download it. So you have it, and you'll have an idea of how to read it as well, at least how to read transits. Yeah, it's quite a lot of material, but an idea you will have. What are your power dates for now, for this moment in your life, for this time? Yeah. And then we'll dance, and then we'll do, for sure, some guided meditation, relaxation to really bring the healing home. We'll also have, a circle when we're talking. I'm sure we'll do that with you as well. And if we need to, we can work on soul retrieval work. Yeah. This is if somebody has patterns they really want to shift, like you have the same job and a different boss, the same relationship, a different guy. Okay, let's see where it's coming from. That we can do, and we can integrate it as well.
Brilliant. Love it. Love it.
So
I'm going to leave you for today, but I'm sure we're going to do many more talks like that. So you can find Alessia on the healingcentral.com, and stay tuned for a fantastic yoga for belly dance masterclass that we organize for all our Dance Body Mind students and teachers and Alessia clients. And stay tuned for Alessia coming to Glastonbury with us and doing some really I feel like I finished the Glastonbury mission. I felt like something was missing. I need something else. I needed your healing expertise, Alessia. So I'm excited. I cannot wait. And you can find down below or anywhere all the links to connect with Alessia. For you do astrology reading, you do tarot, you do quantum healing, which is fabulous. You do thehealingcentral.com. There's a reason why it's called thehealingcentral.com. All right. Thank you so much, Alessia. It was a pleasure. Thank you, everybody. And we'll see you soon at the Dance Body Mind Talk.